Hi, Robin.
Hi Shahid,
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Not bad. So today we are here to talk about something really exciting and something really concerning at the same time. AI and AI policy of how it's being used around companies and businesses. So, of course, AI is the buzzword of today. Everyone's talking about it. Almost every company is using it to some extent. Uh, but there are concerns of how it's being used. Is there transparency? Is it being used ethically? And we have regulations coming in soon in different regions, including the EU. So, as a CEO of one of the leading cybersecurity PR agencies, how do you think AI policy should be adopted by businesses, and why it's very important today for every company to have AI policy?
hmm
Yeah.
I think the first thing is to understand that we're in a very experimental, iterative phase of using AI. So, and in order to make that successful, you have to have some level of parameters around how it is used in organizations and how it's not used in organizations. But at the same time, allow that freedom and flexibility, like how we're using AI in our company. It's being driven in a greater extent by people on their daily basis and how they're doing their jobs. It's not coming from a top down, oh, we're bringing in this tool and everyone has to start using it. So I think that's the first thing to observe about it. The second thing is that we need to think in a mindset about not reinventing the wheel. AI is not something that sits over in a corner on the right hand side. It's actually a part of business ethics. It's actually a part of data protection and data privacy. Um, which is already in existence within organizations. We already have GDPR, we already have ethics as a business and how we need to operate and what we need to do. So all of that is in place. What we need to consider is all the things that we currently do as a business and what's the AI component to it.
Perfect, perfect. So in that context, let's say for any company or any business that's looking to develop an AI policy, what should be the key aspects of that policy? What should it include?
There's five areas I would say that are really central for a good AI policy. First of all is clear purpose and scope. So what AI is being used and where is it being used, and importantly, where it is not being used. For example, we use AI in content generation, we use AI in our media intelligence, but we do not use AI in HR, recruitment, or those aspects to our business. So very, very clear at the start on that.
Yeah.
Number two, I would say data privacy and data protection. We already have to follow GDPR regulations and to protect how we use people's data, keep people's data private, and all of those things as well as non-disclosure agreements and all that lovely stuff that we do with our clients. So those policies need to extend into the AI
Definitely.
field as well. The third thing would be ethical guidelines. It's first and foremost the AI told me to do it.
That's not gonna
Is
work.
not going
Yeah.
to work. Like you are still in the driving seat.
Yeah.
You make the decisions. So ethically, it's you cannot sloping shoulders
Yep. Yep.
and yeah, move
Yep.
the thing on. Also, there's issues around potentially about transparency. When do we use it? How do we use it? And making sure people know when we're using it. The fourth area is accountability and responsibility. We read every week stories around new regulations that could be coming along the line using AI.
Yep.
So, as an organisation, it's important we be careful about how people use it and when they use it. It's far easier to control it from that perspective rather than let a free-for-all happen to
Yep.
then try to curtail your organization when a new regulation comes in further down the line.
Yep.
And the fifth thing is this is a constantly changing field. So your policy should not be this fixed thing. It should be a constantly being updated and iterative in line
Yep. Yep.
with the nature that we're experimenting with it.
So it sounds like that like the core thing is that you have to define who is using AI and who is not using AI. You have to focus on data privacy and that you can't delegate your tasks. Even when you're writing content, you should not depend on AI. It should be a tool that you leverage, to get some insights, to get a good outline maybe, but your human creativity should always be on the driving seat. So that should be clearly defined in the AI policy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in So going a bit out of the way, as a CEO, you've been busy recently attending a lot of trade shows and cybersecurity events, namely RSA conference, InfoSec and Black Hat. What's the conversation around AI? What are CMOs and decision makers saying? Is it all positive? Is it all negative? What's the
I
kind of
think
scene?
I think they're very busy people.
Yeah,
They work long hours. Their
yeah,
days are packed full of things.
yeah,
This thing called AI comes along, and there's
yeah,
oh that's interesting, and it whizzes through. So I think that the state of knowledge or awareness is at a very early stage. You see, there's a lot of people, evangelists who are
yeah,
coming on to social media say this is amazing, these are amazing, this is how you do it. These all these guys and tools and things. But I think the connections with marketing lead, that connecting that advice and guides with marketing leaders is still at a very early stage, and they're at the stage of curiosity and exploration, but they need to be cautious as well. I think underneath that, there's much greater awareness today of the potential negative consequences of adopting technology. 10, 15 years ago, if a new technology came along, people didn't think twice about it and got on with it. I think the social environment we're in today, people are far more cautious, have far more questions about something, particularly something like AI.
perfect. So, one last ending statement from you. How would you summarize all of this? What should be the key message for companies who are trying to do AI policy?
I think collaboration. We've developed our own policy following those 5 principles that we talked about earlier, and we're sharing it with everybody. So people need to work together, develop best practice and exploration. That's the best approach, we believe.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you, Urban. Thank you for your time.
no problem.